Yeah.
The grandma.
Why not?
Goes into a bar.
Yeah.
And she's in there drinking.
And Elf on the Shelf is just...
He's hanging on the steering wheel when she comes out.
Yeah.
Should you be driving, Grandma?
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cardia, your fearless leader.
I am Chippy.
And this here is Frank, who is a gift to us all by the looks of the bow on him. But if the bow says nothing else, it says that it's the first day of December. Santa Claus month.
1 2 1 2 0 2 1.
1 2 1 2 0 2 1.
Yeah, 1 2 1 2.
Yeah. Coming up next year, we'll be podcasting still probably. Is
Have to be.
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming up.
Next Tuesday?
No, Tuesday. The biggest Tuesday of
all the twos?
the century.
Oh, okay. So February
22nd, 22. And you know what day that falls on? Take a guess.
Leap year.
A Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
That's big.
A big party, yeah.
That's going to be a big Tuesday
Because, I mean, the
party.
second would also be fun. 2 2 2 2. But if you want all the twos, it would be 2 2 2
well,
2 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you...
2 2.
When you write it, you write it like you'd write 202 22 if it was the month.
Yeah.
But this is going to be 22222
Oh,
on a Tuesday. But that's not today. Today is just
on
a
a
Wednesday.
Tuesday?
Oh, wait, we're not going to be podcasting. Can we do a podcast on the Tuesday?
Yeah.
We don't normally do Tuesday podcasts.
We don't.
What we do is Wednesday podcasts. That's the first day of our week, and here we are on a Wednesday talking to you. December 1st. Mm-hmm. Round of applause, December 1st. December, it comes around every year.
It was a bell.
Like clockwork.
We had a bell.
December, one of my favorite months. I would say my favorite winter month.
Yeah.
Even though technically it's only half of a month in winter.
Half of a month. Oh, right.
It's still fall.
Yeah, you're right.
Common misconception.
It is.
But it is definitely, I feel Christmas in the air. You know, probably the biggest Christian holiday. And the biggest just holiday, I would say.
Yeah.
It's transcended religion. Mm-hmm. And but we have a long month ahead of us to talk about that. So let's not dwell on it too
Chippy,
much. Okay.
Who is Elf on a Shelf.
Oh, Elf on a Shelf has a name.
Okay, so I don't know. I told you I don't know Elf on a Shelf. I know it from...
I don't know it either.
Being out of my rock. But I don't know Elf on a Shelf. But there's a movie. There was a movie.
There was.
And...
Question mark. And I don't know if he is the elf on a shelf, if he was an elf in the movie, or what. But... Who is this elf and what shelf is he sitting on?
Chippy?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just thought I'd be Chippy.
That's fine. Are you going to be a Christmas-themed name every day this month? Or I guess for the next 25 days.
I might, but I don't know. That's sort of pressure.
It's not really. Because
No?
you got to think about it. It'll be about 4 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And we do 3 podcasts a week.
Uh-huh.
So it's you can't think of 12.
Oh, yeah. 12 days of Christmas.
You can be the reindeer and you'll get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, Chippy sounds good to me.
Elf on a Shelf. And, the elves are back to
They're back.
To watch the children.
He's back.
And
Voldemort is back.
He's back. He's back. Voldemort's back.
I wish the children could unionize themselves and do it back to the parents, and be like, Elf on the Shelf is watching you, Mom, or Dad.
Mom, you're going back into that medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for the child, it would put the Elf on the Shelf in the medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
It's
or
like
like the wine, the wine bottle, like holding on. I think his arms like click together, holding on things, holding the wine. Or no, what I would do if I was a kid is I would get a Sharpie because parents do this to
I know.
Not kids, like teens.
Oh, okay.
But I would do it back where I would put Elf on the Shelf up in the wine drawer, or wherever people keep wine. Drawers.
up drawers, not only drawers, but drawers that are up. So I don't know how you're...
I don't know. And I would Sharpie where the line is.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have the Elf on the Shelf pointing to the line.
I want them to do that.
Hey, Mom. I don't see why this should move. I'm at school.
I want like the dad goes into, or the mom,
Yeah.
the grandma,
Why not?
goes into a bar
Yeah.
and she's in there drinking.
And Elf on the Shelf is just.
He's hanging on the steering wheel when she comes out.
Yeah.
Should you be driving, Grandma?
Should you?
It's just like, let's just surveil everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think that's what happened to Grandma who got ran over by a reindeer.
Probably.
She was drinking too much eggnog.
Oh, you're right.
Well, if Elf on the Shelf was there, that the kid planted, arm around the eggnog,
You're right.
Grandma probably wouldn't have gotten run over by a reindeer.
So, I say fair play.
Fair play. You know what? Two can play at this game. Unionize the kids. If you're a kid and you're watching this,
Yeah.
Elf on the Shelf is free game.
Elf on the Shelf
Fair
for
game.
the adults in your life, because they are not without.
No, I'd be darned to say that they're all on the nice list.
No. So who are they to
Who
be
are they?
planting? Trying to scare me.
Yeah.
With little trolls around.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you brush your teeth? Like he's holding a toothpaste
Yeah.
or something.
I'm gonna get coal in my stocking.
Yeah.
It's like, well, hey, Daddy, it's the third time you're at the bar tonight.
Right.
There's coal on your dinner plate.
Right.
How about that?
You know.
How about that?
You could even do it maybe like electronically, like put him on Tinder.
What?
His face, and then like
the elf.
Yeah, and then like the dad is like scrolling through Tinder, or the mom, or the grandma, and
That grandma was vicious.
You know, you'd see that.
Yeah, it's just everywhere.
I'm not supposed to be on
It just
here.
haunts you.
Yeah,
it haunts this poor
because
man.
they're trying to haunt the children.
Yeah.
So if you tell me that you can do that, you need to be haunted as well.
You need to be haunted as well. As Christians, we believe in equality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm chippy.
But back to the podcast. What do we do here? We have a Christian podcast where we talk about Christian ideas.
Yeah.
In a.
Why do you still have the olive oil?
I don't know. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Bible Gateway. We've been shouting them out forever, and they have not even given us a little head nod. And so, Bible Gateway, are you getting taken over by California Olive Range olive oil? Maybe. May the best man win. So,
the line's been drawn in the sand.
Yeah, so when we start talking about Bible verses today, you say, so if you go on to CaliforniaOliveRanch.com, you'll find this Bible verse.
Let's do it. Again, fair play. We gave you enough time. This is our 220th video.
Yeah, this is we did one whole rotation around the sun, giving you a chance, Bible Gateway.
Yeah.
We loved you. We would have taken a bullet for you. And now, I'll take a shot of olive oil and call you in the morning. How about that?
Or we could do a sacrament.
A what?
A sacrament.
Oh, yeah. Like the, what you said, the last rites were done with the olive oil?
Yeah, I think even some kind of baptism.
Baptismal services?
Something. And other things maybe we'll do.
You know what? It's Spiteful December. Nobody's, we I don't know.
Revenge. It is December and Advent has started.
Yes. Oh, you know what that means, guys. Do you remember last year you said, Spencer, are you into traditions? And there's a few quote-unquote traditions that I am definitely here for. And the one was last year, every day of 25 Days of Christmas, Advent calendar, I was given a gift.
You were. I think that was harder than trying to think of.
Yeah, I was going through like the old videos, and one time you had like a gluten-free bagel that I believe was expired.
No.
And you're like, we're breaking bread.
Oh, wow.
You know what? It's not about what the gift is. It's about...
Well, it is, because they have Advent calendars, and you open up the little door.
Get a little chocolate.
Yeah, and every single thing is chocolate. You wish it was Hershey Kiss. It's like no-name chocolate. You don't even like it.
No, we should build one. Are you good into woodworking?
No.
There
are some very pricey, nice
can imagine.
Advent calendar.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
No.
Being like a high-end Advent calendar designer.
Oh yeah.
Because imagine like you could put care and time into it. It's not that hard. You're not like designing a crazy structure.
Right.
And you have all year to do it. And then you sell a few.
Yeah.
Sell a few.
Yeah.
Why not?
So I'm confused about Advent. So it did start on Sunday, November 28th.
Did it now?
Along with Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah. What is it? Third, fourth day? Fourth day of Hanukkah.
Same as Advent. They don't usually run together, but this year they're running together.
I'm still shocked that Advent doesn't start on December 1st.
Well, it starts... I don't know about other years, but this year, 2021, Advent started on November 28th and it will go into December 24th. 4th. Yeah. That would be the last little window, right? Because you wouldn't open it on Christmas Day.
Okay.
I think. So it's a little confusing, but I think I ran into the same problem last year, which is, do we go backwards? So is it the 4th day or is it the...
We did run into this problem.
Do you go backwards? Because you're counting down.
Yeah, but it's like, it's weird because it's like, it's the first day of Advent, right? But
it's the first Sunday. If it's first...
Advent has begun, so...
Because there's 4 Sundays, and that's real important. We have our own...
Maybe that's why it started early.
Candelabra.
Because it needs to be on the Sunday.
Right.
Because the numbers, December 24th doesn't change.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Because it's ending. Changes. The Sunday will be like... the Sunday before... The 4th Sunday of Advent before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's far away from it. It's far away from Christmas.
Okay. So they had to start early to get that 4th Sunday.
So it's just confusing. And we had the same problem last year. Do we count downwards?
I think last year we counted downwards solely because we were going off of the 12 days of Christmas model.
Right.
On the 12th day of Christmas.
Yeah, we didn't start in the... I think Advent was an afterthought. I think we picked it up. It definitely was. Like 2 weeks or something.
I think it was like mid-December.
Right.
That we're like... I think it was close to even 12 days of Christmas we started doing.
And also, last year we were doing more than 3 podcasts a week.
What were we thinking?
We were trying 5, sometimes 4.
Crazy.
It's okay.
It's okay. You know what? We changed quantity for quality.
Yes.
If that's what you call this.
So we'll I promised last time I would figure it out, and I still haven't, but that's okay.
Hey, that's okay. So well, Advent has begun, so I'm ready.
I brought you a bow, and Frank took it.
Thank you. That's very thoughtful of you.
I brought you a bow because we still haven't decided if a Christmas tree will appear where Frank is standing.
Yeah. Any of the comments say anything?
No.
Hey, commenters. Not commenters. You guys are more than that. You're friends. I need to know because I don't have the gall to kick Frank off the show myself.
No.
But last year we did have a Christmas tree up in his place that he actually replaced. Christmas tree came before Frank.
Right.
But Frank was beloved more than the Christmas tree. And so... It's like a quarterback, you know, like remember when Nick Foles took over for the Eagles? Obviously, that's a different scenario because Carson Wentz was injured throughout the season.
Yeah. But
Carson Wentz had a great beginning of the season. Nick Foles came in and this man was electric. And the question always was, if Carson Wentz got better, would he come back and take back the reins because he's technically a better quarterback?
Right.
Or do you feed the hot hand? Frank being the hot hand who's been with us. I don't know. And so I ask you, my friends, from near and from far, from countries above and countries...
near and from far. Want to be...
Oh, the world revolves around you?
No, but like I thought you were pointing right. Like, shouldn't they be near and far?
The world revolves around them?
They are the world.
Wow.
We are the world.
From near
it's
and
a Christmas
from far.
song.
I need you to let us know. Should Frank be replaced with a Christmas tree? Maybe you know what? Maybe
Frank will vote.
Best of both worlds. Christmas tree, topper, Frank's head.
Oh, does his head come off?
No.
It would require.
But it can.
Sewing.
Yeah. To cut down a Christmas tree, is it time to cut down Frank?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
last year we cut down the Christmas tree. People can still see that video.
Oh, dude, check that video out. That was one of our out of the studio. If you want to see what our legs look like, well, you already know what my legs look like because I like to show them off every podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a video of us cutting down a Christmas tree. Some good music, good vibes.
That we brought back to the Crow's Nest.
The Crow's Nest.
Put
That's a good name.
It up and we decorated it. And then realized there were spiders in it.
Yeah, you know we're ones
because it lived outside.
We're ones for the fake trees.
Yeah,
I don't think fake trees are. What's like the more PG way to put it? Artificial trees. Yeah. Fake sounds like it's real.
Oh right.
I don't like when people call my tree fake.
Right,
it's
right.
Like, it's artificial. We use artificial trees. Love them to bits. You just pull it out. Boom. You got yourself a tree. But there was always that nostalgia of, remember when you were a kid, chop down trees?
Yeah.
After chopping down this one, I'm not going to say I like the artificial.
Yeah, I know. And then you see it on other people's, platforms, and it looks so much easier and more fun.
Well, ain't that life? That life?
And you know this about me. I always like a creative twist.
Yeah.
So let's do a Christmas tree, but it's like I just get so bored of that's one that grew in the ground, or that's one that someone made in a factory. And so my idea this year is I would like to get Christmas rings. I would like to get life-saving, inflatable swimming rings.
Inflatable swimming rings.
Like a
Oh, the ones that you throw out?
Well, yeah, but they're like styrofoam, like more like a child's floaty, but they have big ones for people.
Okay. Oh, the rings.
A ring.
The one that you can also sit in at a certain angle. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So I want that.
Okay.
I want red and green. And of course I need like this size, this size, this size. Okay, so do you know the toy that the children play and they drop the...
Yes.
It would be that, but it would be big.
Okay.
So I don't know what the center stalk is.
Yeah.
But it's going to be red.
I just got like a PVC pipe or something, right?
Yeah. Because it's so lightweight. Red, green, red, green, red, green. It goes up like a tree. It's these rings. You deflate them after Christmas. You could put that in your alcohol drawer.
Yeah, in your wine drawer.
In your wine drawer. Because the big thing about Christmas decorations is storage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a pain in the neck.
It is. It's like, I don't know. There's a guy up the street and he decorates his house to the nines. I'm like, where's this all stuff go?
No. Did you see my brother's nutcracker?
Oh, it was really big, right?
It's like bigger than the house.
Yeah.
It's bigger than the house. I had a few inflatables throughout my time. And, you have to keep that motor running to keep the thing inflated. So I don't know. I haven't been. So I don't know if it's loud. Number one. Number two, I want to know where that goes.
Where does the nutcracker go? These are the questions that we ask ourselves.
Okay.
Do we have a word?
We do.
Well, guys, wow. It is Wednesday. And you know what that means? Around here, around these parts, the crow's nest, we have a little thing called One Word Wednesday, where we bring up a word from the English dictionary, the Webster's dictionary. Is Webster a man?
The last name, right?
Is it? I always thought, I recently learned that the Webster dictionary is like really old.
Really?
I thought it was a web-based dictionary.
Oh, no. I knew it before the internet.
I didn't know anything before the internet. I'm Gen Z. But.
So am I.
You just read it in a book somewhere?
Yeah.
Gotcha. We don't read books. We read tablets. Boomer. So we bring up a word.
Don't call me that.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I know. I'm not Gen Z.
I'm not from the year or the reasoning.
Oh. Yeah, get a shirt like that. It's the quickest way to call a boomer.
I'm chippy.
Not a boomer.
I'm chippy.
Not by year, not by reasoning. So we find a word from the English dictionary and we try to bring some life to it. Make that word alive. You know what they call that? Personification.
Oh.
How about that? And we just talk, see if it has any spiritual significance, if it has any spiritual metaphors, if it's just an interesting word to talk about. You know?
Yep.
So, without further ado.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. The word is boundaries. Huh.
Boundary is one word.
Yeah.
But I figure we'll use boundaries because...
healthy boundaries.
Yeah, that's something that's imaginary. That's something that's invisible.
Yeah.
But there's also boundaries. Like there's boundary lines of if you play sports.
Yeah.
They're very, very
staying within the boundaries.
Important. You get called and whistles blown.
So boundaries, right, are different than borders in the sense of a border is saying this is the line between two things.
Right.
Where a boundary is making whatever you're saying clear that is the end line of whatever you're doing.
Right.
So in sports, that's out of bounds. You've gone out of what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
When someone has boundaries, it's the line in which they hold themselves or a situation.
Right.
You know, like if there's two people and this person keeps getting interfering with this person, it's like, hey, we have boundaries.
Right.
There is a clear line that you should not cross.
Right. Not so clear sometimes.
Not so clear.
Because, right, if you're an Olympic gymnast, you see them when they step back.
Yeah.
And they're so careful, like,
don't cross the boundary.
Don't cross. But in relationships, since they're invisible, people can pretend they don't know what the boundary is, and then
you push the boundaries.
And then the other person has the responsibility to say,
you have crossed the boundary.
But some people don't.
I'm using boundary so much I'm forgetting.
Boundary. Because it's sometimes awkward to put up boundaries. And so today I'm asking about Christians. Can you have boundaries? Because Christians are supposed to be open and accepting and tolerant.
Yeah.
And so how could a Christian have a boundary?
Quite easily, I would say. And I'm going, I think sometimes the best way to try to explain a thought is by using something a lot more tangible. Mm-hmm. So if you think about a house. Yeah. A house has, clear lines or what is it? Property lines.
Yeah.
There's property lines.
Yeah.
And what a Christian shouldn't do, right, is put up walls around their entire house. Like, no one's allowed in, no one's allowed out. We don't have any fences, I don't think. Right. If someone starts just walking up our driveway, it's like we sort of have boundaries. Like, right. And so I think that's a very loose example of the idea of just because you are accepting and open does not mean you can have boundaries for yourself. And in a house setting,
that you can't have boundaries.
In a house setting, some of it's for your safety, right? And I think your mental safety is important as well. And when someone crosses boundaries with you, in the sense of like what you don't deem okay, right? Then they're coming like it's coming at your mental, like your mental safety is not the word I want to use in that sense, but
like comfort level,
your mental comfort level, yeah. And you're more than it's more than in your rights to be able to set boundaries for that. It's like, I don't feel comfortable talking about this, and it's like, I don't really want you to berate me on that, right? And it's tough, because as Christians, about with martyrdom and stuff, we're not talking about death in the sense, but just the fact that it's like you need to let everything happen to you. Yeah, I think there's an important thing to protect yourself and your own mental state, so that you can continue on and live your good life. Like you can't, if someone's pushing the boundaries and you have a neighbor who just keeps on putting their flower plant over and over, right. It's like, where's the difference of you being kind and saying, okay, well, there's more sun about a foot over, to now you're taking advantage, right? And it happens with people too, where people can take advantage when it's like, oh, I can see you're nice and empathetic, and you don't have those walls up like other people have the walls up. I can take an inch more, take an inch more, take an inch more, and now you are so uncomfortable because it's like someone's taking so much out of you because they're not respecting your mental and spiritual boundaries. Right. What do you think?
I think that's great. There is a famous saying. It's something like, good fences make good neighbors. And that's talking physically. And so you might think that it's rude to put up a physical fence, right? Because it's like, well, the kids run through all the yards and stuff like this. But you don't realize that, to put up, like, say, a physical boundary, you can avoid a lot of problems. Yeah. Therefore, protecting that relationship with the neighbor. Yeah. So you think it's like, it's unfriendly, but actually it would just help you avert these things.
Yeah, it's a clear indication of, this is where my house starts. And it's like, they want to come in, you're more than welcome. Come on over. But it's like, it's keeping, because like you said, what do you do? What's worse, when you put a fence up and then the kids are like, oh, well, you have the pond in your yard, and they keep coming over. Or if over time you don't have a fence, right, and it's like encroaching. It's like, now they have basically their backyard set up at your pond. It's like, then do you say, hey, you gotta go? Right. No, you won't. And that's part of the...
Or you will, in a way that you never wanted it to come to that, but you were quiet for so long. Yes. And And if I feel that if you're a Christian and you feel uncomfortable with setting boundaries and you're like, well, I'm not supposed to do that, whatever. Again, always think about parents and children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if my child came to me and said, oh, like I do all the work at work because I don't want to tell the other people. As their parent, I would be like, I don't like that happening to you.
Yeah.
Right? So if they would stand up for themselves because I want more for, like, even if you can't do it for yourself.
Yeah.
So God is our Father. So if you say,
who art in heaven.
I'm a Christian, I can't tell people that I have boundaries. God wants you, what you just said. He wants you to protect yourself. He wants you to keep yourself, in a comfort level. Yeah. So you might feel, oh, I don't want to do it, but God wants you to do the best you can with yourself on this earth. So you should be doing it for Him.
Yeah.
Now, when you mentioned our house, and so basically where we live, everyone basically has the same property lines.
Yeah.
But what if some people who have they need way more protective boundaries than other people. It's like, no, I need you to stay 500 feet from me.
So like famous people?
No, I mean like emotionally. Like so, how people say like you're too sensitive or you're too. Yeah. What does it matter? You know, and it's like.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I think it's part of knowing what you need, right? Like with your boundaries of around other people, mm-hmm. because I think the worst thing you can do is not really know yourself,
right? And
to not have any boundaries, and to let that affect you negatively on the inside,
right?
And it's because it's not normal if or I don't want to say anything about it, do anything about it. And it's like, it's going to come up eventually, like it will, whether it's just you dealing with those emotions or having to bring up. So what are some examples of things to set boundaries on? Because I don't want, too many people to be listening to this and just being like, boundaries. What do you set in these mental boundaries for?
Well, just quickly, I'll tell you the Bible. Okay. They had a bunch of boundaries. Obviously, they mostly have to do with property lines.
Yeah.
But I did think it was interesting in Job and Proverbs.
Job, your favorite?
No, Job is more of the property line. Sorry about that. Proverbs and Jeremiah, they both talk about in Jeremiah, the Lord declared, should you not fear me? Should you not tremble in my presence? I made the sand a boundary for the sea, an everlasting barrier it cannot cross. The waves may roll, but they cannot prevail. They may roar, but they cannot cross it. It was like, okay. That's physical, but as usual in the Bible, I feel, because it talks a lot about don't move your neighbor's boundary stone, don't move a widow's boundary stone. So it's physical. It's a physical property line they're talking about, but I think you can look past that and be like, especially a widow, because I feel like they're used as a sympathetic character, and
a metaphor for someone who is in a weak state.
Right. Don't take advantage. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would your boundaries be? Your boundaries that are not a physical property line. I would say there's so many.
No, I'm only asking because there is so many.
Yeah.
And like if we can just give some tangible examples rather than just keep saying the importance of.
Okay. What if you weren't a drinker?
Yeah.
And so, but not beyond not a drinker, but like you had like serious aversion to it or whatever. I would say that, wouldn't it cross a boundary if someone invited you or brought alcohol into your house or was drunk around you or something? Like, wouldn't that be encroaching on your boundaries of like, I don't want that in my life. And if you were too polite to tell them like, I don't like you doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just like kind of out. I plucked that out of the air.
Or just like time. I think
true.
I think time is, especially with someone who is, like we're saying, we're talking about, like people that are spiritual and Christian, they want to help.
Yeah.
And once again, none of this is saying that don't ask this person for their time, but like respect that their time is their house, and it's like,
yeah, that's true.
And they want to, like, the same way we want to invite anyone to our house. Come, we will clothe you and feed you. Maybe not clothe you, but we'll feed you. We'll give you some clothes. Why not? I'll clothe them.
We clothe Frank.
But it's like it's the understanding that like there's a boundary that you are going into same way you go into someone else's house,
Right.
and they'll do anything. They'll be hospitable.
Right.
They'll do things for you. The same thing with time, and
Right.
and it's like, it's that idea of respecting the person's boundary, that sometimes they need time to recharge,
Right.
and they need time to get themselves to a place that can help.
That's true.
And we brought up the cup thing before, where
Yeah.
you need a full cup to pour it, and it's like, in a way that's like sort of like respecting that is like sort of respecting the boundary, rather than being like, well, can I get more? Can I get more? Can I
Right.
get more? It's like just respecting the boundary of
Right.
someone else's ability to give, and
Yes.
it's like understand that they want to, and they
Right.
will to a fault sometimes. And so for your own self, I
Right.
think you can look at the cup analogy too, where it's like, why set boundaries? And it's like, well, why should I? It's like what you said earlier about just working, and like,
Yeah.
oh, people aren't doing their thing. You're doing it for them. You're doing it for them. It's like, you need to respect boundaries for yourself, because that is the way you recharge. That's the way you
Right.
are able to help more people.
Right.
Is by being clear of what you need first, and then using that and in a space that you're comfortable in to help others.
Yeah.
And that's it. Boundaries. So nobody show up to my house.
No, because there's unspoken boundaries. So you wouldn't call someone at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. But then what I was saying about some people need even a bigger cushion. So if someone said, I don't even want you to call me after 5 p.m., to push that boundary would be like, well, why not? It's like, because I want, that's my boundary.
That's what I need.
Yeah, that's what I need. Yeah.
No, definitely. And you can't assume everyone has the same boundaries.
Right.
You can't assume if this person wants to talk on the phone, that person also wants to talk on the phone. It's like, they might not want to ever talk on the phone.
Right.
And it's like, and that's okay.
Right.
That doesn't mean
they're not Christian.
They're not Christian. They don't have love in their heart. It's just like, it's something that they don't do. And learning people, you see it in relationships, you see it in friendships, you see it with any person you meet or have ever known, that everyone has, just like everyone has different love languages. Love languages podcast plug. Everyone has different boundaries. Try to learn other people's boundaries, not your own.
Mm-hmm.
Next door, they have an open door policy. Here, we want, like we'll see if we're outside.
Yeah.
Not really, but understanding that every door is not a open door policy. Every person's not a open door policy, and respecting it, loving it, understanding it. That's our podcast. We'll be back tomorrow for Walkthrough Thursday. Peace, love, prosperity, boundaries.